Hello, my name is Chantelle Bielak, and I'm the owner of a local boutique travel agency called Traveling the Seas. Along with Eugene Uhuad of Foam Fighters, we have started an initiative called That Local Life with the intent to support local businesses around us. Today we have with us Rachel Gorley from Woodwork and Clementine to discuss her business, how she got started, and share some tidbits. Welcome, Rachel. It's great to have you on the show today.
Thank you.
So our first question to get us going is, how did you get started in business?
Right. So my husband has always wanted to be a business owner from the time I've known him, and he kind of tossed around many different ideas in the air, and when he tossed out restaurant, it was one that I felt like I could get behind. I was born and raised in coffee shops. I worked for Starbucks Coffee Company for 12 years, and they taught me everything I need to know about running a business and operating and managing people. So I felt like that was a business that I could get behind and learn how to do what's happening. So yeah.
And you probably make the most amazing cup of coffee.
Hopefully still. Yeah.
Awesome. Our next question is, what makes your locations unique? Right now we're filming on site at Woodwork, but what makes Woodwork unique and what makes Bar Clementine?
Yeah, so we opened Woodwork 7 years ago here in Edmonton. And there's kind of two things. My husband always wanted to be a business owner, but he had also just got into craft cocktails. That was kind of when craft cocktails were really becoming popular. He was getting into sort of bartending on the side and experimenting with things, and that was sort of his passion. So when we launched Woodwork, I would say we were one of the industry leaders here in Edmonton, where craft cocktails had just started to come to Edmonton. I think Three Boars was probably the only place that opened the year before us that was doing craft cocktails. And so that would still be what we're focusing on, of being industry leaders in the cocktail industry and being known across like worldwide and getting leverage on what we do, both here and at Clementine. That's our goal.
Well, so now I have to ask, what's your favorite cocktail?
Ooh, my favorite cocktail. I'm a real partial one to scotch, so I really like if there's peated scotch in a cocktail. I mean, a margarita in the summertime, or even just a good old Negroni would be like the spot for me.
That's awesome. Our next question involves with the current pandemic that we're dealing with. How are you pivoting with your business?
Right. So, first thing we did was to launch Takeout, which was like launching a whole new business, like completely different from what we do every day, and it felt like a whole new venture to do that. And then we reopened Woodwork about a month ago, I think, and Clementine a couple of weeks ago, and so that just involves working closely with guidelines of what's happening and really adapting to meeting the needs of people in a reduced capacity in a way that's safe and that everybody feels comfortable and confident in what's happening.
Great answer. Pause. I now need to look at my list again quickly, sorry. What do you enjoy most about what you do? That's a great one. Okay, I like that one. Okay. Our next question is, what do you enjoy most about what you do?
I really like the people aspect of it. So I think I'm one of those oddballs that I love managing people. Like, I really like working with people and getting to know them. I like taking them from point A to point B and helping them achieve their goals. And I love the customer aspect of it. I think it's fascinating, just learning tidbits about people's stories and getting to observe their enjoyment of drinking and eating together and having a social occasion with friends and those who are close to them. That's by far my favorite.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
What do you think are the coming trends in your industry?
Coming trends. I found this one a tricky one to answer. I imagine like a lot of focus on local still, and I think probably the pandemic will still shape this a lot. So things that we're still encountering is supply issues, can have shortages, so getting used to flexing with what you can get and missing product, not being able to get what you imagine, and being having to take what's available and working with it. I don't know if that's a trend, but that is kind of what's required of what's going forward. And I think takeout is going to be the trend. It seems like takeout and delivery will be something that we all need to incorporate into our regular everyday lives, and that's probably not going away. So that's pretty new. That's that's new for us to keep that around. Yeah.
And delicious.
Yeah.
I love the takeaway. It's so great. At the end of a long day, you're driving home, you can get your favorite meal and then just go sit on the couch and relax.
Yes.
Perfect. So the last question that we have for you today is, how can we support you? What can we do?
So when we were talking about this, Chantelle, I said I felt like this was the hardest one for me to answer, to think about. I mean, the obvious thing is to come to our restaurants and support local and have drinks and eat food and let us take care of you. But in talking about it, also the one was to just like stand by your commitments or let us know if you're changing your plans. We're happy to accommodate. We felt quite surprised that we were still getting no-shows for reservations, which is really tricky when we have only half capacity in our establishment and we don't have like the same foot traffic of people walking in, so we aren't filling those seats then. So that would be a real way to help out. And then I think the other call out would just to be gentle with us. We're still learning how to do this. Come back. For example, delivery and takeout. Like, I don't think we rock that out all the time because it's still really new and it's actually very tricky.
Yeah.
So tell all your friends about your good experiences and come back to us and let us know if there's something that didn't meet your needs or how we can help and change us and give us the chance to fix that and make it right, because we're definitely striving to make a perfect experience for our guests every time. So.
Wonderful. What a great note to end on. Honestly, I think that the huge takeaway, even just from our conversation before, is honoring that commitment and coming into the restaurants and trying to support local wherever you can. Thanks very much for being featured on our little show that we've got here. And if you or someone you know would like to be interviewed and featured on That Local Life, we would love a connection. Thanks.